His teammate is third, and George Russell starts fourth, his highest ever start here. And for the third race in a row, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen shared the front row. This race has been won by pole for the last 8 runnings of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Max Verstappen once again, the man to catch.
He is this evening. He was complaining about his car bitterly actually through practice sessions, and then turned it on for qualifying. Starts on pole position, championships in their pocket, but
nobar guys,
into the winter with a great result and preferably a victory. So the first 12 on the grid start on the medium compound tyres. First one not to.
Oscar Pasu
Almost all the teams and tyres have kept 2 and only 2
nobar yoi guys, ini kapan lagi gitu kan, jadi end of season kita kasih ke nobar sama ya dari balapan
in the Ferrari also on the half compact tyre, clearly hoping to go a little bit further into this Grand Prix and make up some places.
Bisa irap ya? Bisa sih, masih bisa irap, masih bisa sawer, cuma namanya nggak kelihatan, namanya nggak muncul Mas. Tapi ada Discord sepi ya nih. Discord by the way kalau ada yang bisa nge-streamingin tolong streamingin ya guys ya. Tensi kata Discordnya apa guys? Global di mana? Aku di Gandara Kofi, Mike Live tuh band vertikal ya pakai HP. Lihat ya. Penobaran guys, literally penobaran balap. Oke, two stopper kan, two stopper medium hard. Nah ini kita nggak bisa ngecek bannya pada sisa ban apa guys, suaranya apa pakai copyright ya juga ya. Gimana Pal di Gandara Kofi guys, Gandara Kofi apa namanya Palagan, kenapa notifikasinya astaga event list. Semoga tidak copyright ya. Outdoor iya gak ada tanda guys ya. Kita literally penobaran balap, penobar guys. Oeng gitu kan. Semoga audionya enggak copyright. Semoga audionya copyright. Saya ini ngobrol-ngobrol doang gitu kan. Nah, kenapa nggak dari app YouTube langsung Pal?
Absolutely, I remember France first coming into Formula 1.
Ya juga ya. Jadi ya, kenapa nggak dari app YouTube langsung? Aku soalnya tadi saya mic kan. Stream pakai apa mic? Pakai stream lab kalau di HP. Pakai stream lab. Soalnya kita bisa masuk OBS kan.
That Red Bull program as well. He's a straight talking man who's always been a pleasure to sit down and discuss matters within the paddock. The celebrities, the VIPs are here. It's Ferrari or Red Bull and Mercedes, the Hemsworth brothers, watching on as Max Verstappen for one last time in 2023 leads the cars onto the grid.
He masih ada 50 baru pakai stream lab. Emang iya. Next year is all year. Entitas perjuangan. Oke. Ini tempat kalian kalau duluan tolong jangan spoiler. Awas ya, kalau ada yang spoiler
well over 100 kilograms of fuel on board.
Which makes somewhat of a different type of fuel.
Ini kalau startnya kayak gini sih BTW guys, kalau kalian ada yang bisa akses Twitter nggak ada yang nge-stream kalian nih, sorry banget nggak ada yang nge-stream guys. Soalnya udah end season kalau bisa streaming sorry banget di Discord, jadi ya bentar. Ya di Discordnya nggak ada yang bisa streaming guys, sorry banget. Oke, away we go. Wah anjir, roket startnya bapak langsung klasik. Wah Perez diobok-obok. Perez diobok-obok guys. Hari-hari Perez diobok-obok. Hari-hari Perez diobok-obok guys. Mana Ceko? Mana di Ceko men? Perez diklesekin. Perez diobok-obok guys. Tarik terus. Tarik terus. Tarik terus. Go 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 go. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Buang. Ini McLarennya siapa yang di depan nih? Nomornya seperti apa? Tarik. Anjir. Gimana Pal di Gandara Trophy guys?
And no DRS of course for 2 laps after the start of the Grand Prix. But you have to say, if Leclerc can stay there, he'll be in a great position.
Tapi ini udah masuk sektor 3 pasti kabur. Udah masuk sektor 3 pasti kabur.
We know how good Verstappen is at building the necessary lead.
Yeah, it's been a few scares to survive on this opening lap for Verstappen, but he has survived it, and he leads the final corner. It's Max Verstappen in the lead of this race. Behind him, Charles Leclerc.
Mari kita Wheelbase. Kan ada sendiri dia, ada sendiri.
George Russell at the start. Then comes Yuki Tsunoda who is ahead of Fernando Alonso. Then comes Pierre Gasly ahead of the Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Sergio Perez has dropped a place. He's down to 10. Then comes
Alonso masih pengen. Yuki masih pengen. Wah, mantap Yuki.
A brilliant driver between Verstappen and Leclerc. They gave each other racing space. Verstappen with the confidence to keep going around the outside, and all of a sudden it's the Ferrari under pressure down the back straight.
because Verstappen is now over.
Tempel terus, santai McLaren udah. Ini McLaren tujuannya ini saja udah. Gak perlu susah-susah.
He cannot take a risk against his teammate there in a big fight tonight with Aston Martin for championship position. But those rear wings will be open at the end of this
Sudah
lap.
selesai, lagi guys.
Second place is during the course of this season. He's going to be under pressure, Charles Leclerc, when they next head into a DRS zone, because that McLaren of Oscar Piastri is right on his turn.
They're pushing hard, considering they're on full tax. They need to babysit these tyres a little bit, but they're not able to. They're having to attack and defend at the same time.
We've had 20 more races. We go into the winter break. The drivers want to put on a show to give us one last hurrah here in Abu Dhabi this season. We're on lap 3 now, and Verstappen has got himself out of that DRS threat.
And Sainz already up to 13th in the other Ferrari from 16th on the grid.
As Hülkenberg begins to struggle a little bit with his tyres, potentially inside the top 10 to start with, he's now down into 14th place, and we're on board with Oscar Piastri. It's a good exit. Did he get it?
I think Leclerc is a little bit closer to the Red Bull, is he not? Does he get the rear wing open? We'll keep an eye out for it. Not quite. Well, look at Shane, 0.73. But he's not in the right part of the racetrack.
Medium. Goreng.
Trying to make a move on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton gave him the space there. Didn't really find that one. Perez steams through and makes a place.
And Gasly felt that he and Lewis Hamilton touched on the first lap, but they both appear to have all 4 wheels intact and pointing in the same direction.
Perez just steamed very easily past Lewis Hamilton there. He's not been happy this week, and certainly not happy with the performance of his car. Let's take a look at the start once again. Fairly even Stevens on that front row.
Yeah, that's the best start we've seen from Leclerc for a while, but this is he has to brake earlier because he's got the tighter line. And as I said, he knew Verstappen was going to turn in come what may.
We saw Lewis Hamilton going off the track. We saw Fernando Alonso getting past Yuki Tsunoda. He's given that place back. Moving back into 6 once again. Down into the hairpin. You can see Lance Stroll making a move down the inside on the Haas of Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, Stroll on the hard compound tyres too, so a lot of confidence from him. And while he gets those up to speed.
And this was the moment where Charles Leclerc thought he had half a chance of taking the lead here. Sparks flying from the underside of both cars. He was almost ahead, but not quite.
I really thought he'd got that done, and maybe so did he. Max did a ball deck around the outside and had the grip to do it.
On board with Sergio Perez, and we can see his start
Iya.
Just ahead of him. And that was Lewis Hamilton. All the way around the outside.
Ya kalau nggak went out nabrak dong.
I rather wonder if when we saw Perez making the move to get that place back, Lewis was told to give it up without a fight.
Yes, the race control will say,
Ada nggak sih
we'll leave this up to
itu?
you, and then we'll take a view of
Kayaknya
what
ada
we're going to do
notification
about it.
dari Hatta, guys.
We'll swap the cars over.
This was Lando Norris's starts.
Bentar,
He's
aku
already
coba
made
cek
up
Hatta.
a place on George Russell. This is how he managed that, staying within the track limits. Nicely done by Lando Norris.
Lando
Oscar Piastri in this race. McLaren now running third and fourth.
The whole pack is still only 13 seconds apart. And very close. We're going to get another what we call a DRS train, aren't we, this evening? Following, they all got the wing open, but once again, and Lando Norris then through and past Oscar Piastri, the McLaren's swapping position.
Yeah, we saw it on the previous lap that he made an attempt to overtake, didn't quite come off, but it certainly has come off now. Lando Norris will be chasing Charles Leclerc down the first of the two back straights. He's going through the DRS detection zone. He is within 1 second. He's going to get the boost of about 60 kilometers an hour of extra speed here.
Yeah, and without that Larry slide in qualifying, I think there was a very good chance Norris could have been on the front row of the grid. He's got a fast McLaren there.
George Russell in the second DRS zone might have a better chance to get past Oscar Piastri here because through the first he has gained a few car lengths on the McLaren in front. Max Verstappen continues to lead. We are on board now in the McLaren and the Mercedes of George Russell. And you can see the McLaren just ahead, harvesting as the lights are blinking, recovering some of that energy and charging up the batteries once more and keeping clear of the Mercedes of George Russell. Lando Norris is currently the fastest man on the track. And with 16 kilometers an hour of extra speed, you think DRS would be really, really easy to get some overtakes done, but so far, not really proving it.
This track has always confused me, even in the old layout. Slow corner, long straight, slow chicane, long straight, slow chicane. Should have been a no-brainer for overtaking. And remember when Fernando Alonso lost the World Championship because petrol here was tucked up behind him for the entire race. Somehow it's never quite generated that, but we've got this new layout now that doesn't punish.
Kayaknya saya mau pakai alternate strategi. Karena kan tadi di race start tuh startnya kalau nggak main depan, ya main depan buset.
Doing a very good job of hanging on to that top six. And George Russell already complaining that his tyres are losing grip. And already into the pits on lap 6, Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. Now I wonder if Magnussen had a look. Did he go off the track? Yeah, he did.
Box. Yeah.
So struggling there to get the car slowed down.
That kind of lock-up that would force you into the pits with a horrible vibration as George Russell gets his rear wing open, hunting down.
Leclerc masuk sektor tinggi hilang terus.
This is the DRS train. They've all got the service. They're all less than a second apart. It's incredible, actually.
Turu.
You get down to Sargent in 19 before you see a driver other than Verstappen who's out of DRS range. Before you see a driver that's not within DRS range to go front. Sainz needs to home in on Stroll.
Yeah, and he's not really making
kemana Luis? Bang Jago
This is the Constructors' Championship, the live Constructors' Championship. As it stands, Ferrari will finish 3 points ahead of Mercedes at the end of the season.
Leclerc a little bit wide through the final corner there. The drivers need to be careful tonight, otherwise they'll start getting some warnings. And then a black and white driving standard flag, and then a 5-second penalty.
Oscar Piastri is out of DRS range now. His teammate Lando Norris continuing to chase Charles Leclerc. Piastri's lost the benefit of that DRS. That's into Sky Race control.
Just listening to Lando Norris, he's been complaining that he's feeling some degradation kicking in as George Russell on the attack on that first DRS zone. Is he going to make a move here? No, he's going to think about it for the next one potentially. But yeah, the pace of all of these cars, because they're also evenly matched in pace, is incredibly fast, and that's going to put extra wear, of course. Let's watch Russell here.
Yeah, Russell was complaining about his tyres, but coming out of the chicane, and he's got alongside Oscar Piastri here. He's starting
kalau konten kayak festival
Yeah, he got a double dose of DRS on those two straights, but George took her so much speed into the corner. The front of his Mercedes was like, yeah, this amount of
Gak heran pace-nya nampak. Rame gak paling nobar, rame banget.
To that pace of George Russell's Mercedes looks fairly happy at this moment.
Yeah. They're all kind of they've gone into management mode a little bit because it was a bit frantic, the early pace, but for AlphaTauri in pit lane and Danny Ricciardo, they have to take that rip off out of the brake ducts, otherwise his brakes will overheat in 2 or 3 corners. And we really need something on there, don't we? We're getting this too much now. Going in radiator ducts or brake ducts. And we used to have a system where we had to tuck them inside the car. We couldn't just let them go into the path of the car behind us.
These are little man bags, isn't it?
Yeah.
To put them in.
Sama mobil kayak ini mobilnya udah kelihatan. Ini juga bisa nyalip. Sektor 3-nya sih Pak. Karena itu di bagian slow corner, slow jelek.
The two could be as fast, but you need track position, because what you don't want to do is get yourself in the middle of this DRS train and find that your pace is a bit limited. So
ya, di jurusan harusnya nggak bisa disahani Ferrari. Ya, di jurusan Ferrari aman.
Kevin Magnussen locking up, going off the track, but maybe there was another moment as well.
Yeah, sadly they're fighting over 19th and 20th down there at the moment. All 20 cars on the track. Verstappen just teasing Leclerc, keeping him a second and a half outside of half a second outside the DRS zone, as it were, but just keeping him out of the way and not giving him a chance to get his wing open.
I'm told by Anthony Davis that he's seen it Sky Race controls at turn 7. Kevin Magnussen potentially Stuart Davidson, the unofficial 5th student this evening, thinks that Kevin Magnussen should be okay. Don't forget, he told us last night that Pierre Gasly wasn't going to get a penalty for his possible impeding. He knows his stuff, that boy.
And he didn't get a penalty.
He did get a penalty.
So, yeah, how many cars we got then in the DRS train there?
Oh, selamat pagi.
7 or 8
Yakin.
George Russell.
Yakin. Kalau bisa masih Gasly ya. Yakin. Kursi gua bos. Gak bisa jalan dengan semudah itu. Siapa nih? Waduh. Selama ketutupan, kurang dekat, terus kayak gini ya. Habis nonton bikin konten TikTok buat apa? Konten TikTok. Mika masuk gak sih ini Pak?
Cek. Here in Abu Dhabi a few years ago, both enjoying excellent careers now in Formula 1. For many years to come. Out in front, 1.4 seconds, the gap between Verstappen and Leclerc, pretty much the same gap back to Norris in third. Piastri just losing a little bit to his teammate.
Oke, kalau Yuki menang kaya kamu guys.
Still right there in the hunt. Fernando Alonso has a bit of DRS. We'll get the DRS behind George Russell, so that could impact that battle.
Aku bukan konten kreator yang kayak gitu. Aku malu
forcing another driver off the
isi
track.
nur, aku orang kayak introvert. Dia cuma nobar doang. Ngobrolnya sama Raceback yang ngobrol.
George Russell being stuck behind the McLaren. It's not the Russell has a much faster car, but it's just ruining their strategy as they try to fight Ferrari in the constructors. Hamilton says he just doesn't have the pace to get anywhere past Sergio Perez and therefore Pierre Gasly in front of them. And Ocon actually very close behind Hamilton. So that's a very close fight we're watching. So yeah, not looking good for Mercedes.
No, it's not for Hamilton, and neither for George Russell once again as he tries to get past Oscar Piastri. Piastri, the first rookie in Formula 1 to take multiple podiums in a season since Lewis Hamilton did
Wi-Fi-nya nyala.
in 2007, their first full season in Formula 1. He's done an excellent season, he really has. So his manager Mark Webber, a little earlier on, and Mark was absolutely raving about the progress of his young protege during the course of this year. He's having a top night defending against George Russell. Currently, these are the possible race strategies. It's medium and hard all the way through. No one's talking really about running the soft tire unless we get late safety car. All the potential for right at the end of this race.
Padahal tadi tuh pakai sampai waktu ya menutup sih cuma
going on. Look after the tires. Make sure they can stick to whatever plan is for the It is good, but this is strong from George Russell because look how close he's getting to Oscar Piastri.
Aduh, lock up. Aduh, saudara. No. Oh no, Oscar. Alah, lock up. Ngapain? Inside. Yuki, kejar Yuki. Damn, ini kayaknya pada pendukungnya Russell semua di sini, guys. Yang kecewa Oscar kesalip aku top kayak ini. Mal mau nyocokin, Oscar disalip sektor 3. Sektor 3 mau lihat nih.
Let's have a look at it again.
Ini replaynya
guys. The first to the back straight.
Depan.
Picked up a beautiful slip streak with the DRS as well, as you can see. He's a car left the heads.
Yuki ini karena depan battle guys, Yuki kejar terus nih. Masih dapat DRS-nya Piastri loh, ya Piastri lepas. Aduh, Oscar. Wah, ini yang kotak adalah kalau Yuki nyalip Oscar guys. Alah, bohong lu. Ini sama aja sama tenis gun guys. Wih, 20 orang yang nonton guys, mengalahkan F1 Manager. Let's go. Ada ya, ini BTW kayak ada yang bisa nge-pick chat guys. Tempel terus. Ya nggak dapat DRS. Lewat ini.
He's got the move done this time, Perez up into 8th place, actually, at Sky Race Control.
Just a quick one on Yuki Tsunoda. He's going to be putting Oscar Piastri under more and more pressure if Piastri falls behind Russell. That time around, he was within DRS of Russell, so he was safe. It might not be the case for too much longer, but Tsunoda's the
Ini battle, I mean, Leclerc P2 udah cukup.
We don't have to manage the tyres through turn 3
P2 cukup, Hamilton P10 I think is good guys.
I wonder, Martin, are we starting to see early signs of tyre degradation?
Masuk P4 juga.
Alonso now comes into the pits. A lot of the drivers are.
Iya, pusat. Aduh, komen lap 13 motu stopper ya. Waduh, Fernando tuh stopper guys. Fernando stopper. Berat sih di sini. Pace-nya Aston enggak banget guys. Pace-nya Aston off banget.
So sometimes they put these hard compound tires on and they're just magic.
Yeah.
And of course they only have 2 sets for the entire event. So they don't know anything about them.
They didn't get much running in the practice sessions for a lot of the drivers. They had to give up their seat in FP1 for the rookies. 10 of them to come in, and then FP2, Sainz crashed, Hockenberg crashed. And we lost about 40 minutes of action, so they didn't get the long runs.
Yeah, I don't think this live stream is monetized, so yeah. Yang penting kita no bar and fights.
They're up there getting 18 points at the moment. Russell down in 4th, Hamilton down in 10th.
Yeah, mungkin ya bisa point.
That's going to play out this evening. That's going to get pretty feisty towards the end of the Grand Prix between those two great teams.
Let's go. Wah, Oscar Pasutri box to stopper ini.
And those tyres have now given up the ghost. So into the pits and comes Piastri, but I think this is also to cover off that early Alonso, who wasn't that far behind it in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, it's a 22-second cost total to come through the pit lane, stop, go under the tunnel, and find your way, or you feed into the outside of turn 2 into turn 3. It's a highly unusual pit lane there, as you see it emerge. And now he can lat it.
Wah, masa
itu
stopper
0.3 of a second, the McLaren was stationary for less time than Fernando Alonso, and that kept Oscar Piastri
Komeng.
Fernando Alonso.
Komeng, ayo Komeng. Nggak dapat.
Might have his hands full there for a few corners to keep the Spaniard behind him.
Youngest man in Formula One. That youngest man wins this battle on that straight.
Oh, he's locked up again into 6. That puts him out of position for 7. And Alonso will again have DRS.
Okay, McLaren to stopper. Komeng. Come on, Komeng.
Is he didn't go defend fresh air. He didn't go and make a defense. He didn't have to. He was confident enough that Alonso wasn't going to lunge him.
BTW, stringnya ini di kalian yang nonton pakai HP gimana guys? Kalau bisa screenshotin coba. Aku tuh penasaran string pakai vertikal ya. Tampilannya gimana ya di HP? Ya, 1 abad. Aduh, Lando Boris kesalip langsung. No way. Dude, this is stupid man. What the heck? Alah. 1 abad guys. Iya, kesalip Piastri nggak? Damn bro. Wah, hokinya Mercy guys. Ini kalau kayak gini Mercy stay di P2. Soalnya gap P2 sama P3, holy smokes, what the hell is this?
Lewis Hamilton contact behind Pierre Gasly. Is he going for a move on Gasly?
Left front wing. You can see it on Lewis's front wing look.
Anjir. Oke, Ata, thank you so much screenshotnya. Saya cek tadi habis stream selesai ya. Kita cek efek langsung entry by the way guys. Tidak habis kuota guys. Kuota. Hamilton tidak ada suaranya guys ya. Klasik.
Yeah, contact made, but it's hanging on. It's not falling off that front wing, but it's certainly hanging to a more acute angle. Let's have a look, Martin. It's exactly what happened here. Into the chicane. There's the lookup. There's the contact.
Yeah, so he looked on front and then turns in. It was carrying a lot of momentum.
Santai.
He could do anything about it. It's interesting that Verstappen and they're not responding.
Ini apa nih? Oh.
He looked up but he couldn't stop. That was the trouble there. Hamilton has pitted and is coming out ahead of Esteban Ocon. He already was ahead of Esteban
stopper ini sih, mantap.
He has continued onwards.
Gak pakai wifi cafe dan tidak terlalu percaya loh, soalnya kan yang pakai rame kalau bisa. Ini berarti suaraku jelas nih. Kamu jelas nih.
Marshals, corner workers, fans, what have you, that it's structure, the integrity of the structure.
Jadi dulu Mike pernah stream pakai HP 3 lumayan lancar ya, jadi so far pakai HP 2 lancar. Sama siapa nih? Albon.
In this race, this should be a very easy overtake, and it was fairly easy overtake.
Max DNF copot berjumpal dari Hong Kong. Oke, Verstappen pit. Pitnya 1 detik guys, lihat nih. Mengenal dengan Red Bull 1 detik coba lah. Satu balapan 2,1. Oke.
Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes as they made their way around
apa nih, mikrofon HP.
Yeah, we're looking at it. We don't think there's too much damage.
What the hell?
Verstappen then pits, comes comes out in 7th place behind the Ferrari.
Ya, nggak Grand Slam.
Carlos Sainz,
Ya,
who
tidak
is
Grand
going
Slam,
longer on those hard
saudara-saudara.
compound tyres. But yeah, the undercut, Martin, stronger than the overcut here. Are you surprised that Ferrari didn't respond to Verstappen coming in?
I'm surprised they didn't beat them coming in.
Ah, ini Ferrari mau one stopper ini Leclerc ini.
Control this race.
Feeling one stopper ya.
He's on his mark. Yeah, it's jumping about a bit.
Gak percaya sama strategi apa tadi. Jangan percaya sama strategi Ferrari guys. Ini Ferrari mau one stopper jangan. Harusnya
pit stops. What can you tell us, Anthony?
harusnya pit dari lap 14 tadi.
Actually on the onboard, and it seems like momentarily the car, it's like the clutch didn't fully engage or disengage. So that's what you see, a bit of tramping going on as he comes to a standstill. I don't know whether his hand slipped off the clutch momentarily, off the paddle, or whatever happened, but it didn't sound healthy, put it that way, when he came to the pits there.
Yeah, look like they put down some obvious straps in the pit boxes. Here comes Esteban Ocon, trying to find a route through and a route past Lewis Hamilton in position of Mercedes. Right in the middle of the track there.
Baru pit, undercutnya strong by the way. Undercutnya strong guys.
And he's just making his way around the final turn. Meanwhile, his teammate Sergio Perez comes into the pits. George Russell has just set a new fastest lap of the race. Yuki Tsunoda now leads this race. Got Stroll and Sainz.
Bersama dari pit exit. Leclerc dari pit exit. Where is he? Ah, udah kesana.
You know, about 5th place when he makes his way onto the track.
Ya, gapnya 3 detik.
Pit lane, good stop from the Red Bull crew. They lost 9/10 to Perez.
Kimi one, yuk guys. Kimi ga yuk. Siap ya guys. Kimi guys.
Drivers ever led a
Yuki
Grand
led
Prix.
a fucking race, baik. Yuki led. Wah ini kalau refleks kocak. Apalagi kalau yang bikin refleks Verstappen guys. End race. Ini kita perlu end race ya. Yuki P1, Stroll P2. I like this. I like it.
That's George Russell making his way up into 7th place.
Botas nggak belum guys. Belum
Just
ya.
ahead of him. And after stopping before the crash, look how Russell has got that much closer to the Ferrari here.
Yes, hasn't he? He's flying along nicely, but Sainz has got a
Wah,
job to do here.
what the hell is happening? Russell di belakang Leclerc.
He's on the hard
Russell
compound
belakang
side. He can
Leclerc.
run longer.
This is not
Can
good.
Carlos Sainz, because he was out of position on the grid, obviously down in 16th. And Verstappen is right now. Can Sainz help the Ferrari team out?
Nico Hulkenberg. The word coming from Ferrari before this race was that we're not going to ask Carlos Sainz to do anything.
Juga SC ya kalau SC mantap sih. Yuki Tsunoda new race leader mantap. Mantap Yuki.
Absolutely fine, but he's driving for himself and then the team. But at the moment, any form of defensive would be good, but I'm not sure there's going to be much defensive.
Saleh sih. Tapi ini harusnya bisa ditukar lagi.
Defend that one too hard, isn't he?
Tukar. Fit. Seperti hilang suaranya. Iya. Tadi emang mic-nya mati tadi ya.
29. Ted's got some news.
Ngomong apa gak sih? Gak kedengeran.
So Esteban is 4.1 ahead, so we'll just focus on tire management. Just a long way to go. We can get this one.
Wah, lagi-lagi dikorbankan saudara-saudara Bapak Gasly guys.
Not quite sure if they're going to make it work.
Yeah, I don't think that was the answer we were looking for.
It's stopping Esteban Ocon 2 laps earlier. Lost Pierre Gasly about 5
Yuki
seconds.
Tsunoda race leader guys. Kapan lagi?
2 seconds to
Kapan
to
lagi
Ocon.
guys?
So yeah,
Oh, alah,
that pace, and it wasn't the quickest of stops
Taruh
out
emot race
for Pierre
cockpit ya.
Gasly. That's really cost him. And I'm with Pierre, I don't really understand the thinking behind that either.
The uppercut is powerful. We knew it would be stronger than the overcut, but it is fairly powerful here tonight.
Franz Tost, last race, there he is for AlphaTauri. It's had a number of names. It's getting another name next year. And his car's leading.
Brilliant. Only the 6th time that Franz has sat the pit wall and seen one of his cars lead a Grand Prix since he started at Bahrain in 2006. And of course, on 2 occasions, Pierre Gasly at Monza and Sebastian Vettel at Monza. He saw his car go on to win the race. What a night for Franz Tost this is, and for Yuki Tsunoda, and at this moment in time, for Oscar Piastri, who's got past Valtteri Bottas and up into 8th place, and that's Fernando Alonso right behind in the Aston Martin, who rather started the sequence of pit stops that we have seen amongst the top 7 at the time. Who hasn't stopped? Tsunoda hasn't stopped, Stroll hasn't stopped, we're on board with this team.
Let's go, Komeng! Mantap, Komeng!
Bottas conceded that place to Fernando Alonso, who's up in the 9th.
I mean, Alonso was very close to Russell, wasn't he? When
what the hell? Yes.
Okay, he sort of dropped back a little bit in this phase now. I know he pitted early, did Fernando Alonso, but...
Mungkin dikejar sama Stroll ya. Tapi Stroll 4 detik, Mbak. Stroll udah kejar sama Verstappen. Lewat lah.
Very decent race pace.
Absolutely.
Kenapa Komen nempel sama Piastri?
Fernando is definitely catching.
Salim.
There is George Russell.
Aston, kau bisa ngelompatin
Unless he has put too much stress and strain on his tyres too early, that Mercedes pace with George Russell looks really, really impressive and podium kind of worthy impressive.
Charles is faster than you. Can you confirm this message? Tukar. Wah, kocak nih, Pak. Tukar. Masih tukar.
To get some DRS, so that will help you as well. No further action. Hamilton and Gasly causing a collision when Lewis just touched the rear of the Alpine.
I don't see how he can really. I mean, he turned in on the racing line.
Strollolol. Defense strollolol. Apa poin apa gimana strollolol?
There are no brake lights on for them. They would be utterly useless. They slow down so quickly. There's no point in it. You obviously red lights flashing on for the rain or for harvesting electricity for the filling up the battery basically. But we've never had brake lights on F1 cars.
Anticipate the actions of the driver. The brake pedal was pressed. Yuki Tsunoda continues to lead this Grand Prix.
Kalau nggak bisa di defend main tenis ya.
Max Verstappen's chances of leading 1,000 laps in Formula 1 this season. He's been in the lead about the last 3 laps. I think he's had a few couple of track limits warnings as well. He's gone over the white lines. He needs to watch that a bit.
Alonso tempel Alonso.
5-second penalty. So Sergio Perez set to the fastest lap of the race. He's down in 10th currently. We've got Tsunoda, we've got Stroll, we've got
One stopper ini ngapain dua stopper?
Carlos Sainz on the hard tyre, they're going long.
Udah ada safety car belum ada safety car. Not yet. Ini kalau ada safety car guys, Yuki mantap selamat pagi.
Quite the advantage. Daniel Ricciardo down the inside of
Daniel, mantap. Morning mate.
Right behind these two. The Alfa Tauri and the Alfa Romeo here. And so giving his driver all the encouragement. Not a bit wide. Ricciardo's going to say thank you very much for that. Keep that 11th place. Hamilton with already one part.
Pusing. Wah, Luis pusing Pak Bos. Gimana? Oke, dikitin. Setelah satu labuan Stroll juga oke, nice call.
Ricardo came in on lap 7. Remember to get rid of the rip-off material.
So Yuki comes in to pit then. The key here is where does he come out in this race? Because whilst the undercut has been performed nicely by some to make positions on the track, they're going for the overcut, going long at Alfa Tauri, and they'll come out onto the racetrack just behind Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas and Hamilton down in 12th place, but it'll be absolutely flying.
Gak yakin ini one stoppernya mantap guys. Gak yakin asli. Gak yakin ini one stoppernya mantap guys. Gak yakin. Two stoppernya, I think too strong karena undercutnya mantap ya di Abu Dhabi.
Finish the race on mediums. It should come back to him a little bit later on.
Lewis Hamilton up into 10th. He's got past Valtteri Bottas now. Still Daniel Ricciardo ahead of him. But he's got quite a few cars to clear. There's that battle between Norris and
Komeng,
Sainz.
kejar Komeng. Anjir.
Into turn 9. We're running on board with the Ferrari driver in there. Is on the inside, Daniel Ricciardo, the outside, Valtteri Bottas, having a lot of fun down there, it has to be said, but strapping away for the fringes of the points position. So that was Yuki Tsunoda getting past Valtteri Bottas. So he's now made up a place. Lance Stroll is ahead. Gasly down 14th. He's now pitted, and that leaves Carlos Sainz, and it leaves Valtteri Bottas as the only drivers who haven't pitted in this race yet.
Lap 24 menuju lap 25 lah. Pit Gasly banget, one stopper guys ya.
Another set of hardcore palm tyres there, isn't it? So that's a
Kayaknya itu ada
two-stopper.
fresh
Carlos
hard.
Sainz.
He's got to run the different compounds. He started on hard. He's on the hard at the moment, so it's a softer
Aduh.
that needs to go on.
Komeng, lari Komeng.
2.1 seconds. Good stop time that for Ferrari. 10 down to you.
Yeah, Dean,
No,
I think the only person looking at potentially trying a one-stop is Valtteri Bottas, because Lance Stroll also put the hard
Defend,
tyre
Komeng,
on,
defend.
having run the hard tyre
Anjir.
in the first stint. So Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly can only hope that Esteban Ocon is either going to try a free-stop or is just going to get in trouble with his tyres, and Gasly will have a delta to try and close on him. He's not already doing it as we watch.
Ocon has just got past Valtteri Bottas
Sainz hit lagi ke
into
soft.
11th place.
Maybe.
We're
Dia
getting
start
all
pakai, oh dia start pakai ban hard ya.
We had 80 overtakes here.
Oh iya,
and
Sainz itu stopper ini, guys.
2022 was the most of the last season.
Wah, oke, menarik.
His gearbox and the scrap.
Ya berarti kayaknya Sainz harus soft di akhir guys. Atau mungkin medium kayaknya nggak apa-apa. Takutnya kayak soft dipakai 5 lap habis gitu kan buat push. Mungkin bisa bertahan sampai race selesai nggak? Harusnya bisa sih. Kalau kata Pirelli itu buat stopper bisa guys. Bisa one stopper dan ini lap 24, 23an.
So doing his absolute best to keep Aston Martin in the hunt of McLaren.
Well, he absolutely is. Currently scoring 8 points for 6th.
Ya, Fernando out dari DRS. Fernando, come on, Alonso, aduh. Ya, nggak dapat DRS, udah lewat. Detection-nya udah lewat, Pak.
Performed absolutely brilliantly, especially in the first part of the season.
Yeah, they were brilliant, weren't they? Only Alonso could keep Verstappen in view, really.
Defend, Komeng, defend.
But then they lost their way, Aston Martin, and they found it again now.
Here goes Sergio Perez. Fernando Alonso didn't fight that one. He knew what was coming. Perez
Berat.
Verstappen, and Perez and Alonso took 13 of the first 15 podium places.
Hari-hari tanpa DRS guys ya. Nggak dapat DRS bubar guys.
Positions since when Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Gasly, Piastri, 11 drivers.
Okay, so we did pick up some damage with that contact with Hamilton, but we are closing on the cars in front.
Box, Gasly. We need to retire the car. Can you confirm this message?
Okay, so the undertrain, a little bit damage there on the back of the Alpine, just as the front of the Mercedes was damaged too.
This is Lewis Hamilton making the move on Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton up into 8th place after starting 11th this race. And Max Verstappen, who before the pit stops was about.
Betul, berarti kalau kayak gini Alonso P5 WDC kalau nggak salah. P1 John udah lock 4. Oh, shit, garing 6.
On occasion this season.
Yeah, and Leclerc only pitted one lap later as well, so that's sheer pace from the Red Bull driver.
It's really close, Martin, between Mercedes and Ferrari. Mercedes at the moment have just got that second place.
Turu,
What's
Aston.
better, to get the extra 10 million for two teams that are well financed, or to get the extra wind tunnel time that comes with finishing third?
You go for the second place, wouldn't you? Max out you.
Error mundur teratur at least nggak disalip Russell sih. Karena kan sama George kan, sama Mercy, jadi harusnya it's fine buat Leclerc. Ya harus dengerin deketin mic ya.
Show me the money.
Check.
Driver swap for AlphaTauri. Semoga gets past Ricciardo. Bottas hasn't pitted yet. He's struggling.
Fastest lap dulu minimal, Luis.
Hamilton did a 1:29.3 on the last lap. Verstappen matched
Iya di lulusan ini roket banget. Ya kita udah tahu corner exit-nya sih. Mereka tuh traksinya over bagusnya Hanso. Absen Pal. Halo ladang biru, welcome to the stream. Oh ya, ini stream kali ini kita nggak absen. Ntar di akhir kan.
As Lance Stroll now sets a new fastest lap of the race, and that's Terimakasih.
Mantap Stroll, let's go.
He's starting to struggle a bit, and this will be the driver swap between Semoga and Daniel Ricciardo. The two drivers on very different strategies here. And I did think George Russell looks like he had podium potential. Second place for George Russell here tonight would be a brilliant end to what he considers himself to be a very disappointing season.
BTW ada 50% guys, race-nya guys. Masih turun. OTW 50%, masih belum ada something ya. Kayaknya ini bakalan boring. Kayaknya ini nggak bakalan ada something guys. Yakin guys, asli nggak bakalan ada safety car, nggak bakalan ada red flag pun nggak bakalan ada guys. Soalnya nggak ada siapa, nggak ada Latifi. Oh ada Latifi baru tuh.
So the last 11 races, his average grid slot has been 10.1. He's really had a miserable time in qualifying, but started to really make up for it in the racing.
Slightly out of position when it comes to his
saya 30 lap. 30 laps to go guys. Race-nya sudah mulai turun.
He's getting past Nico Hülkenberg and moving past the Haas up into 15th after his pit stop. What's the Carlos Sainz news?
Yeah, it's steady progress. He needed to get past Hulkenberg. He was stuck behind him. But Ferrari really needs Carlos Sainz to get back in to this. So he does need to stop again. So he's not relying on one stop. He's got Valtteri Bottas just ahead of him. Should be past him quite soon.
Ini ya, aku nggak yakin kemarin one stoppers. Ya hit pace-nya harusnya pasti bakalan salib. Terutama Yuki sih sayang, yang sangat disayangkan.
Perez up now into 5th. On the subject of Carlos Sainz, don't forget the closing stages of this race. He will have a brand new set of medium tyres on his Ferrari car, and everyone else will either be most. Will either be on hard tyres that are quite used or another set of hard tyres that will take
Sainz dulu kan. Ya, susah sih Carlos sih.
Oh, 29, but he needs more than that down in 15th place. He needs to be siding his way through the pack.
Lord Latifi adalah Lord paling tercinta gitu sama Latifi. Lihat itu sama kayak The Breeze.
Behind the cars in front. We're on lap 29 of 58, half race distance, and for Max Verstappen looking all rather nice at the moment. 6 seconds the advantage between himself and Charles Leclerc. And George Russell coming at it. The Mercedes and the Ferrari matching each other to within a couple of hundredths in terms of their lap times. Lando Norris is holding 4th currently from McLaren ahead of Sergio Perez. Perez dispatched with ease. Piastri and Alonso. And can make sure Lando Norris in this particular stint to get that 4th place. We shall see. That is Lance Stroll. In front of him is Daniel Ricciardo. And Lance Stroll will get some nice DRS action about now as the rear wing opens up. Gives him about 16 kilometers an hour of extra speed plus the slipstream too. And that is enough for Lance Stroll to get himself up into the points. So we got 2 Aston Martins and we got 2 McLarens in the points. McLaren currently winning that battle for 4th, but Stroll is catching up and trying to join in on the far.
Max Verstappen getting very prescriptive on the radio. I want 2 clicks to the front wing when I next drop by to see you, please.
The supersized soft drink, please, and maybe some fries to go with it, because this is looking a little bit easy tonight. Looking a bit easy, I'm sure it's not.
Pace-nya jauh off banget guys. Banget.
Russell still just under 2 seconds behind Leclerc, as you can see on your screen. But I think we're back into that settle down a bit phase, aren't we? Until we get another round of pit stops.
Only one driver hasn't pitted yet, and that is Valtteri Bottas. 7th on the grid in Vegas, and then got into contact with Fernando Alonso on the first lap. That rather ruined his Vegas efforts and this season, as he pits now, actually, he says it's been hugely frustrating and very disappointing at times.
Leclerc's got his second track limit warning. One more of those, and he'll be getting an official warning. And then he's got a. He go faster. Run wide.
Pas sampai rumah lanjut stream aman. Stream apa ya? F1 Manager kali. Enggak, kayak kita mendingan main F1 23 deh. Time trial.
Fernando Alonso lapping a couple of tenths faster on that previous lap.
Mari kita beli minum. Tidak disponsori of course.
Great motivational there. He has a lot of rally. Remember last weekend? Was he just in Las Vegas? He was telling George he was going to finish fourth, forgetting he got a 5-second penalty, I think. But indeed, George did cross the line for something to A. Sadly.
Last weekend in Vegas, here in Abu Dhabi to finish off the season. Any plans for next weekend? Season highlights?
No season highlights to do, haven't we? To make December 6th, we'll make that.
Espresso bar, skip. Saya tidak kopi. Oh, beli ini.
Chatting your way through the 2023 season, which is the sunsets.
Ades Nur, warga Ades. Kalau kita ngopi jam segini ya, sampai jam 3 nggak tidur.
Just as Martin said, going through that little jabbing phase before a few counter punches are made and maybe some heavyweight knockout punches too, because we did see on the medium tyre degradation in the early parts of this race, which could yet affect things as we go on.
Beli biji kopinya kali ya. Party coy, party. Kopinya satu lap, banyak banget cok. Party kopi. BTW lumayan tunggu ya Lur. Iya, di race-nya boring seboring-boringnya Pak. Walaupun two stopper ya. Walaupun two stopper tapi ngantukin guys anjir.
James, if the tyres were more durable and more bulletproof, would we be getting better racing or worse
dapat.
racing, do you think?
Dapat juga ini.
I'm less worried about what I think will create better racing is removing the overheating.
Oh, salah.
What that means is we're close to
Oh, ini saya dapat.
Kamu enggak, jadi nanti aku tambahin di
my
belakang.
personal opinion is I quite
Kamu enggak, jadi nanti aku tambahin di belakang.
it gives opportunity to shape the field up, but it can't be forced. It has to be natural to get it.
James, your back with the championship is without Tauri, then he 8 points, and then it's Semoga to square to finish 6th in this race. He's on a definite one-stopper. With your data, do you think that 6th place is possible?
I think until the champions flag drop, I'm not going to relax. I think it's to us.
Kopi Lur.
You saw it.
Kopi Lur. Waduh.
There is degradation. You can see now with Ricciardo, he fell back.
Dim, ini lihat tuh.
That's what you're looking out for. There is a lot of wear.
Yang pakai kacamata Dim.
Billy biting those nails right to the checkered flag. James, thanks
Wah,
for joining us
kacau.
this season as well.
Atau nonton F1 kowe. Malah nanyain kasirnya kacau. Tidak bisa dibiarkan ya. BTW ini minumnya gimana guys? Aku nggak pernah ngopi ya sih. Mana apa nggak kelihatan, nggak mau lah. Ngawur. Nonton F1 kok malah nyariin kasir, kacau.
So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Stroll, for example.
Dim, bentar ini Dimas, bukan Dimas Maulana kan? Bukan Dimas Maulana ya? Bukan Dim. Sekali tekuk, oke. Sekali tekuk guys.
He didn't come in, they went back into the garage. Now they've come back out, I believe, for Esteban Ocon. And I think he is now going to make a stop. So, Pierre Gasly will have to just overtake Ocon in the final stint if he wants to finish ahead of his teammate.
And it's Gasly that's coming in. So whereas Ocon,
Wah,
that was a treatment.
Pedro Pit guys. Bukan. Mohon maaf Dimas, banyak Dimasnya.
It needs to be tightened up for a second time.
Samsung guys, kopi ya guys.
Second station. Gasly's going to come out behind Daniel Ricciardo, who was also just pitted.
Yeah, just 15 laps was his good stint on those tyres for the Alpine driver. Now they seem to come out of the pits and go hell for leather, don't they? Because they end up sort of wheel to wheel with somebody.
One stop nggak bro?
Then they
Iya ya.
calm down a little
Ini
bit and just,
tire degradasinya tuh terlalu besar ya. Jadi kan tadi kan pakai C3 ya C345 lah. Pasti tire degradasinya kacau sih. Walaupun pakai hard ya. Walaupun pakai medium apalagi pakai soft guys. Udah masuk tim terakhir by the way.
pit in there. Really
Bukan tim
difficult
11
corner.
busuk ya, bukan beda, bukan tim 11 busuk ya.
If you have overall
Udah masuk tim terakhir by the way guys. Sisa berapa? 14? 24 tuh 24 lap.
last time.
Nobody scored, mantap. Thank you so much udah mampir. Nobody scored guys. 124 orang. Ini juga guys ya. Harusnya bisa 125 tapi nobody di sini guys.
McLaren that one will come out behind Lance Stroll with
Ternyata yang nonton dari atas, ada yang nonton dari atas juga pak. Baru sadar guys.
on your screen as Norris gets his foot down and comes out ahead of the Alpine of Ocon. Hulkenberg now pits, pushes Alex Albon up into 13th with right on board. With Esteban Ocon right now, his tyres nicely warmed up. Norris not getting the best of exits out of turn 5, but I'm not seeing a little too far back to make a move.
Mercedes will surely have to respond with George Russell to that McLaren pit stop. McLaren driving that particular phase of the race. And how long did they leave Russell out?
Well, I'm just looking out the window now.
Udah selesai nih guys. Tunggu guys ya. BTW siapa di sini yang nonton MotoGP guys? MotoGP belum mulai ya? Pal itu belakang pojok temanku. Kata siapa?
Lando Norris.
Got a long way to go. It's 24 to go to this lap.
Namanya Galang. Pamit dulu Pal mau nabi MotoGP, semangat yang nonton MotoGP. Semoga Brad Binder menang lagi.
So this is to protect his position against Lando Norris, but protect
Mana Galang mana Galang?
Charles Leclerc, who has
Suruh mampir sini Hatta.
And okay, stop.
Salam
George
dari
is
Hatta.
often reluctant to give up track position, isn't he?
Minimal foto lah.
Actually. But he's like, we just ease these tyres to
Oke,
the
rasa
race.
31.
But,
Oke.
brought him in to give him some grip.
This is a critical outlap, I think, for George Russell, and I'm sure the
Yeah,
team
that's
is right
Norris.
now that he's come out
Anjir.
onto the racetrack.
Banyak
and
di
he's
mana
got
nih Russell
a
guys?
bit of clean air, but he's
Sambil
got
nonton
to get
MotoGP
past
Pal.
Lando
Apa ya buat streaming guys? Gak bisa dong Pal. Semangat by the way yang nonton MotoGP. Semoga Valentino Rossi juara guys.
Bring our man in.
Valentino Rossi juara.
Yeah, but
Lando.
they're pushing on George Russell. I think they're going to be pushing on Charles
Turu
Leclerc
guys.
as well.
Anjir.
Surely Ferrari going to
Ini
respond
racer.
here.
Kayaknya ini kalau buat para member ya, buat para member race terturu bisa diisi Abu Dhabi sih guys, asli.
As soon as Russell
Mantep,
saw
cok.
Norris in his mirrors, he would have
Next
understood.
corner itu Pal, aduh. Benar, juara pembalap PCS wah.
Fastest first sector of this
Ini ya, Marquez suruh juara lagi Marquez.
And they are coming out of Ferrari. They're actually out already.
12 lap,
waiting for
22
Charles Leclerc.
22
So
lap.
this could be a bit nip and tuck.
Leclerc box. Iya. Iya. Tangkap. Oke, telat dikit gak apa-apa. 2,6 masih normal. It's alright. Western Tour Mexico. Mana Russell? Ada Alonso lewat ini harusnya aman guys. Oke, Lewis Box.
That's Lewis Hamilton who's come into the pits.
Alfa Tauri ini kayaknya one stopper nggak work sih asli. One stopper nggak work ini guys. Ban hardnya cuma saya C3. Sorry. Iya benar C3 guys. Ban hardnya C3. Kalau ban hard C3 berat pak. Hajar. Salim.
Norris will want to try and do that, but he's not going to make the move here.
I think Strong was pretty handy there for George Russell. Gave him some DRS, and
Cakep.
he's got a survive
Defend.
the next straight, but that is why literally had to respond. It's so close.
Waduh, santai. Si paling santai Pak. Alonso podium Pal, nggak mungkin lah ngaco. Alonso masih belum pit guys, jadi dia tim kedua belum pit. belum pit tapi ya. Jadi ya masih harus pit stop 1 kali lagi. Fernando.
George Russell enough for Charles Leclerc to preserve that kind of next second on the road.
Tahan. Defend. Trollolol, come on, trollolol.
So I think it is getting Russell some DRS down the back straight. Probably not
trollolol, man.
Overall.
Defend, trollolol.
He's out left after the pits.
Okay, Alonso pit.
Just get the feeling Stroll was a very happy car to have in the way as Alonso pits. Now he actually makes his way out. A good stop time there of 2.2 seconds.
Nice stop.
That's the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, I think, that's just gone through. You can see in your shot.
Okay.
Alonso comes out just behind Oscar Piastri. So we're now seeing these second stops, which are the final stops, and we're still seeing Lando Norris trying to get past.
Defend. Alah, berat.
This is helping George Russell
Berat, guys.
preserve his position ahead of Lando Norris.
Berat.
There goes Lando Norris now, and he finally gets that overtake done, but it's a lap too late for him.
Turu guys. Safety car race ya. Yang bisa memanaskan race ini adalah safety car ya.
Right behind Alonso, fighting Alonso as well.
Aman.
But Hamilton has only stopped for once.
Alonso, better Alonso. Coming.
Stopped twice, as has Fernando Alonso. So actually, since that front wing got damaged, Lewis Hamilton's pace has been pretty
Marquez
decent.
bisa juara lagi kalau pindah motor. Oh siap. Jadi yang salah motornya gitu ya.
Last weekend in Las Vegas. Look at the 42-year-old Fernando Alonso. 39.
Come on.
Lewis Hamilton. I'm incredibly impressed how they find the motivation to keep training, to keep travelling, to keep pushing, to keep driving the team forward. It's extraordinary.
Absolutely is. Yuki Tsunoda ahead of Charles Leclerc. Tsunoda's on a one-stop strategy here. Leclerc shortly on the down the back straight.
Ya betul. Faktanya Bapak Komeng. Literal gerobak guys. Versi Ferrari menang mana? So far sih di atas kertas masih Ferrari guys. Albono black and white. Yuki is out. Aduh, Alfa Tauri ngopo one topper. Yuki guys kacau. Come on man.
Ted, down to you.
Just looking down towards the Ferrari pit wall, that was a crucial move for Charles Leclerc because he's vulnerable against Perez later on in this race, isn't he, Crofty? With Perez doing a longer middle stint now on this hard tyre, and then has a choice of going, could he get back to the medium maybe, or a new hard at the end? But that's going to be tight with Leclerc fighting.
Bang it! What the hell? What the heck? Karma Azerbaijan 2017. Perez masih harus one stop lagi guys.
Certainly did.
Now Lewis Hamilton has experience of being brake tested. Remember back to in 2021.
Spontan, let's go.
Got past Lewis.
Spontan guys.
George Russell on Yuki Tsunoda.
Not bad.
That's George Russell up into
Yuki guys. Yuki turu. Waduh, lock up lagi. No. What are you doing, mate?
Oh, that's getting him into the chicane. You've Oscar Piastri ahead now of Carlos Sainz, ahead of
masih saling terus.
As the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. Ocon is coming back to Sainz. Piastri's a long way clear of this, and in the end Ocon has to give it up. And race control have just noted Fernando Alonso for driving erratically.
I'm sure Mercedes would have been on the blower to the... Yeah, so he was sort of zigzagging across the track.
Yuki out. Yuki out ini dah. Pace-nya udah drop banget Yuki guys. Driving erratically, what the heck? That's new. That is new.
Well, let's see what they think they've got up in the studio, if they're planning indeed at all to penalise Fernando Alonso. He unquestionably moved slightly off the road and got out of the throttle.
You called it, Martin, by just listening to that. lockup there from Oscar Piastri. Nearly
Ya ini
cost him here.
Alfa Tauri sumpah ya. Harusnya two stopper sumpah. Yuki two stopper kenceng guys asli. Asli guys.
Quite the advantage over Carlos
Biar nggak
Sainz
itu,
and
Pal.
Esteban Ocon.
Undangan. Saya diundang jadi ada bayar guys. Alfa Tauri iya nih. Stratnya tuh fuck up terus Alfa Tauri guys. Ini drop P8 bisa nih Alfa Tauri guys.
Yeah, making it up in the corners.
Why gitu loh.
And that's,
Kita lihat besok bisa habis balap ya.
3 seconds faster than Esteban Ocon. Although Ocon, of course, was taking avoiding
Itu
action.
kayaknya goddamn.
At lap 41
Ya
of this
Aston
race.
no hope
Race to
Aston
lap
guys.
58, Max Verstappen has a gap of 16 seconds on his teammate Sergio Perez, who says he's more than welcome to pit before me. I wonder if he's doing that because he knows that he can only afford 3 more laps where he's not leading this race if he is to finish with 1,000 laps left this year.
Anjir dah, udah Sun Mori guys. Gapnya udah social distancing. Udah nggak ada battle lagi anjir. It's literally the freaking Abu Dhabi show guys. Klasik Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi nggak turun nggak Abu Dhabi guys.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job at the moment. I'm going to find him, is it?
God damn. Don't shout man.
Do is the best race that we can do. The final win.
Russell bikin budek. Oke, no further investigation.
Lewis is having his battle with Fernando Alonso.
Udah boring ya ini anjir. Ini klasik Abu Dhabi guys. Udah klasik Abu Dhabi ini guys ya. Emang Abu Dhabi tuh sebuling-bulingnya track Abu Dhabi. I hate this track. Dia F123, Tinita gitu ya.
Then Ferrari will take it, of course, because they're the only team to have won a race other than Red Bull this season. So,
Maybe
Sampai ketemu di 2024. Nggak mungkin lah. Alonso di Aston sampai kayak pensiun di Aston deh Alonso deh.
don't forget, Carlos Sainz does need to
Anjay.
pit again.
What the fuck is a kilometer?
With Pierre Gasly
Yeah,
behind
matiin
him and
istri.
Daniel Ricciardo going around the outside, finding himself in looking in his mirrors, trying to look ahead, see what's going on, and in the end he loses a couple of places there to the AlphaTauri and the Alpine.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Davidson, Sky Race Control.
Yes, I've been looking at the.
Wah, mari kita kayaknya bikin polling ya, tapi bisa bikin polling ya.
Is with Oscar Piastri.
Iya, Alfa Tauri startnya ampas banget.
Piastri went on to
Nggak
a
bisa bikin
2-stopper.
polling ya.
We know that Tsunoda is on the 1-stopper, trying to make that
Bisa bikin
work.
polling lah.
So now Piastri is
Anyway,
around 6 seconds behind him. I'm not convinced this is really going to
Waiting for a safety car.
Tunggu guys, waiting for a safety car. Ngapain? Gambling ngapain? Gak ada Latifi, ada safety car guys. No Latifi, no safety car.
Behind Yuki Tsunoda, not anymore. He's up into 5th. 6th place is good enough for AlphaTauri to beat Williams in the championship. But
Tapi yang
behind
bener
Yuki
aja, ada
Tsunoda,
Stroll.
there are some that are lapping
Waduh.
significantly faster as Fernando Alonso
Komeng.
catches up.
Komeng, attack Komeng. Come on Komeng, cakep Komeng. Let's go.
Out there, here comes Fernando Alonso. He's going to put his Aston Martin back up into
Satu stopper, mantap stoppernya. Tapi ya,
Perez is coming in
ya 10 pes doang guys.
will take over second in this race. But I
Yeah,
think he's going to
Perez
get the
leads
pressure from
satu.
Perez in the closing stages there.
I agree with you because Leclerc was about 14 seconds behind on the track, 22 for a pit stop overall, and that puts
Asik.
Perez
Red Bull
in a
One
great
ini sih.
position, doesn't it, in terms of fresh tyres.
Red Bull One ini guys.
The Ferrari, but there'll be other cars
Oh, that's
who's gonna
Norris.
get through
Okay.
as well, like George
Tetap
Russell,
aja Red
Lando
Bull One ya.
Norris.
Yeah.
Stroll pin, no udah.
Started this season
Baik.
with a 1-2.
Aston dulu guys.
We've not had a 1-2 since Bahrain.
Max apa nggak bosan?
Finish it with a 1-2.
Nah, Max ini taruhan guys ya. Taruhan sama Toto.
As Lance Stroll comes into the pits and Ted will head down to you.
Yeah, so with Lance Stroll coming in, that's a little bit of good news for Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh,
He might well have been passed by
Stroll.
Lando Norris in just about half a lap ago, probably. So Lando was struggling with pace, but has now got past Tsunoda. Tsunoda has a stop now ahead of Lance Stroll, but they're giving Lance Stroll the lap time still rather than laps in order to have a go at Semoga ahead. Same with Perez.
Pertama speed dalam. Ini udah overlap berapa orang ya by the way? Ini kayaknya Verstappen udah nge-overlap setengah grid deh. I think.
Just in front, just behind, or alongside in Alpine for this entire race.
Masih belum balapan pada ngaji. Iya anjir. Ini pada sholat isya guys sebelum balapan guys.
Quite sure what that might mean. Could be driving
Pace of infringement. Aduh, mulai. Mercy digebosi guys. 14 lap dan satu udah. Ya selesai. Ini kayaknya one of the most boring races guys asli. Asli guys, anjir. Two stopper jangan efek sama battle-nya guys. Ya isi, salib isi.
Here comes Perez. First one to bypass is Yuki Tsunoda. Perez up into 5th place there. Probably have more overtakes than anyone else tonight. As Sergio Perez. Lando Norris is a couple of seconds further up the road.
Yeah, Tsunoda's got to do 36 laps on that set of tyres. I think.
Oh, there you go. That's Ferrari on top again.
Trying to one-stop Tsunoda.
And at the moment, Ferrari ahead of Mercedes then in the battle for second in the Constructors' Championship. And they might be about to lose points here.
Masalahnya tuh ini
long
corner semua guys. Long corner itu kan. Terus pembalapnya juga nggak maksa-maksa. Karena udah pada kenal Abu Dhabi semua guys. Yo, mechanical problem yo. SC.
Stalking Carlos Sainz. And you're right, they are very close to get that a lot on the track.
They seem to be, don't they? They're just going to drivers, but Perez then just 1.3.
Siapa yang crash ya? MotoGP siapa yang crash ya? MotoGP.
Behind George Russell.
Dari fans Alfa Tauri biasa lah. Klasik. Itali nggak blunder nggak Itali guys.
Pass Charles Leclerc. I think he's got time to do it, given the pace that he's currently showing. It's the slowest car on the straights. Honestly, says Fernando Alonso. When it's not fast enough to
Attack Komeng.
He gets himself all out of shape.
Ayo Komeng. Alah, jelek. Traksinya hancur-hancuran.
2 strikes for track limits. Understood.
Just say to him, please keep it in the white lines there. It would really help us if you could. The Aston is clearly a stronger car than the Ferrari in the final sector. But down the straight, Fernando didn't have the pace on that occasion. Now,
Investigated after the race ini guys, yang bikin kekacauan ya kenanya Lewis Hamilton guys.
That's clear cut. So whether it's crossing a line, a white line, or something like that. Sainz has had these tyres on since lap 23, and he's struggling a bit. We're waiting for a safety car to try and rescue this now. Hang on in there.
Gak bakal ada safety car nih lah.
Skyracing controls. Have a little look back at that Lewis Hamilton pit stop. He's like, I can't actually see anything. As there goes Fernando Alonso down the inside on Carlos Sainz. That came through a little way back. I'm not sure whether Sainz was expecting.
Nggak dapat DRS, Pak. Why?
Can he stay ahead though?
Why?
Going into the chicane. And he probably will do, you know, because as you rightly said yesterday, Martin, that straight narrows down.
Come on.
The chicane.
Yeah, you lose a bit.
Come on.
But of course, all of this swapping of positions and a potential penalty for Hamilton should, whatever he's done. This is all playing into that championship battle, isn't it? Mercedes versus Ferrari.
And don't forget,
Let's go, Komeng.
Does have to stop again. So the points of these currently scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, Alonso P6
unless there's a safety car, and then he's going to have to make up a lot of places.
Di IG kayak di HP kayak IG yo.
Do they need to stop science?
Nontonnya di HP guys.
And say, well, we'll give you a chance.
Alonso, 2 poin lagi Alonso, P7 lah, tapi 8 detik. Susah guys. SC lah.
Meanwhile, Lando Norris, currently holding 4th place in the championship, might be about to lose some points as well. Here comes Sergio Perez, and you can start to think from Jaws now.
Salib terus.
Behind the McLaren with the DRS wing open, and gains and gains and gains, but
Salib, come on, salib. Wow, let's go. Woi, kasih balik. Woi, what the hell, man? What the hell?
So hard not to come together.
Kresekin, Ceko, kresekin. Oh, defend.
Not quite into that particular chicane, and Pierre Gasly is another to have a pit stop infringement.
Defend.
Lando may well have to give
Wow, pressure from the outside. Switch.
Into turn
Bubar,
one.
hilang.
Right around the outside. Lovely.
That was lovely. Very nice indeed. Carlos Sainz struggling. Has got to
Oh, Meng. Ayo, Komeng.
Ferrari. They've got to bring him in, surely.
I think so. Well, that then is let's keep an eye on this guy. So Perez.
Skill issue. Wah, ini kresekin ini anjir. Ngapain? Wah. Bohong. What the fuck, man? Apa coba? Ceko mabok.
Was he in
Pen lagi. ST.
He's going for it again. We might get a repeat here.
Wah, nggak dapat DRS ini. Nggak dapat DRS ini.
He's a lot more clean and he's ahead of Lando Norris.
He's got the DRS though.
Lando Norris.
Lando dapat DRS.
Perez.
Dive. Nggak bisa.
So Lando Norris tries around the outside.
Dive. Bisa di inside kita coba.
Sergio Perez. They are looking at Sergio Perez for causing a collision. I would say, Martin, it didn't look to me like he was trying too hard to give it a bit more left hand down.
I want to see his steering, if he opened the steering or not. We couldn't see it with his hands. We'll take a look at that while
Carlos
watching
ini,
it.
Carlos anjir ngapain one stopper tuh? Bodoh sumpah.
Meanwhile, here's another McLaren going into that chicane, and this time it's Oscar Piastri in the car that he's battling with is Yuki Tsunoda, who's struggling on a one stop here and is down in 7th place.
Wah, ini one stoppernya kacau sih anjir. Ngapain one stopper gitu loh?
Williams. Right, pit stop infringements. Ted Kravitz is on the case and might have some news for us.
You're never going to believe this one.
Well, it's been a long season and there's been a lot to try and believe. I'm open to anything.
Some of the mechanics didn't have their helmets down and were wearing the requisite eye protection.
Pintunya Mercy nggak pakai helm, Pak. Pintunya Mercy nggak pakai helm katanya waktu dari pit stop. Penalti kan? Harusnya penalti sih. Tapi anaknya lain. Anaknya lain biasa lah.
That's a team fine then, isn't it? They're not going to be giving 5-second penalties for
I thought it might be that Hamilton and Gasly didn't get into the fast lane quickly enough. And that might have been able to explain that it's a very
Ini nggak balapan, ini nonton. Nonton orang balapan pertama di akhir.
too close to the wheel hoses from the other team, but no, it's apparently because the lads didn't have their goggles.
Wah, Battle of Beat.
Well, that's got to be a fine.
Battle of Mediocre. Iya. P15.
There's Alex Albon ahead of
Tilang dia real. Apakah Mercy menang dari Ocon? Ya. Ini gara-gara Sainz P10. Ini gara-gara Sainz one stopper, guys. Iya, nggak bisa one stopper. Nggak masuk one stopper.
Third place man George Russell.
Yeah, it's 4,700 floodlights.
Ya, sayang sih Sainz.
It is very bright indeed under those lights.
Ya, I mean sekarang pit pun ya sayang juga gitu kan. Hilangnya 20 detik guys. 20 detik. How?
So Stroll will be up into the points at some stage. And now Sergio Perez lap time doing about half a second.
Stroll, come on, Stroll.
He's 3.5 seconds.
Stroll, guys.
Just get a little convergence going on. Yeah, some racing to be had, yeah.
Cakep. Nice.
There goes Lance Stroll. Easily done. And up into 11th place. There's another pit stop infringement coming potentially, or an investigation for the Sergeant Joe.
What?
And I wonder if it's all for the same thing.
I think they just sort of said everything. Something they want to make it go
Oke, mantap Leclerc. Sip. Bisa. Jadi ini Leclerc mau mundurin Russell biar battle sama Perez. Kayak tahun 2016 waktu Hamilton nahan Rosberg battle sama Verstappen. Ini skenario sama nih. Saya kalau Perez nyalip Russell hilang posisinya Mercy kan sekarang biar Ferrari naik.
He's probably seen it about 15 times.
I gave it a few looks back.
3 detik deket ini. Bisa lah.
But it's I felt like Perez could have probably done a
Tuh, itu udah kelihatan Russell. Udah kelihatan. Bisa nih.
Perez was the overtaker.
Tahan. Mantap trip. Penaltinya berapa? Kurang paham. Investigated after the race.
Did he not put it?
Beda 2 poin. Ini kalau Russell turun 1, Ferrari naik. Soalnya kan Ferrari menang kan. Jadi ada tiebreaker menangnya itu gara-gara di Singapura. Bedakan.
Yeah, you've still got Carlos Sainz's pit stop and see where he comes out.
Oh iya, Carlos.
That will help George Russell and will help Mercedes, of course. Because if Perez gets past him,
Carlos kalau pit gapnya jadi 3 detik. P2 ke P3, oh my god.
Charles Leclerc currently 4th in the championship as well.
Jadi kan tadi poinnya beda 2 poin ya. Carlos speed, holy shit. Oke, ini tadi yang lalu. Kalau Carlos speed, jadi gamenya dari 3 poin. Wah, interesting. Akhir dari Hong Kong, ngaco.
Could he have done more to turn it? That's the question they would have asked.
Iya sih. Jadi sebenarnya Teko tuh adalah pembalap kedua yang bagus. Soalnya dia tuh poinnya masih oke, top 5 masih oke gitu kan. Kalaupun kualifikasinya ngapas ya top 5 masih oke lah. Cuma ya standarnya kan beda kan, harusnya kan mungkin battle championship gitu kan.
He was ahead of the apex. He kept the car on the track.
Tahun ini nggak konsisten. Iya, ya mungkin tahun depan nggak konsisten lah. Alfa Tauri. Ya.
We're on lap 53 of 58. We get to the end of this long Formula 1 season. We have all 20 drivers
Aduh, 1 poin. Gara-gara one stopper ini asli. One stoppernya nggak work Samsung guys.
For teams, for cars, and for parts, and the reliability tonight has been absolutely exemplary. It has to be said. We're pretty much done with the pit stops, except there is one more coming for Carlos Sainz, as we just see down in the car, making his move on Esteban. Tim Travis is down in the pit lane for us.
Nih, ada yang mau berkorban apa? Ricciardo kayak berkorban. Apa siapa? Logan korban lah. Reseng guys. No safety car, man, no safety car.
He'd still come back out around 15 and nowhere near the points anyway. So
yeah, either way, I think it's going to score.
Mari kita cek data.
It just hasn't had the pace. Missed FP1.
Penasaran nih kuotaku bisa berapa?
FP2. We lost a whole lot of running, and it's kind of showing, isn't it, tonight, Martin?
Absolutely, yeah. It's really taken the sting at the end of this race, hasn't it? With penalty, although that's a reason not to give him a penalty. But so he's got to clear George Russell and then scamper down the road at a second a lap if he's going to make those 5 seconds up. But
Selesai.
got to get there first, hasn't he?
Udah.
But
Second flag guys, udah masih 4 lap.
Red Bull pitted on lap 42.
Oh oke. Ini yang ditunggu tifosi nih. Salim.
I think he's probably got a full battery, Sergio Perez here, as he's chasing George Russell for third.
Salim. Wah, anjir slipstreamnya.
Way back here, and George Russell.
Ngejar. Dapat.
Perez again. This time.
Oh, safety car. Oh, switch, gak ada grip. Selesai konstruktor P2 Ferrari ini. Konstruktor Ferrari P2 guys, selesai ini konstruktor Ferrari P2 guys, ini udah.
Well, let's see what he can do from here on onwards. Verstappen leads the player by 12 seconds. The top 2 decided here tonight, but it's up to Perez to chase.
Kalaupun red flag selesai, kalau safety car juga selesai. Jadi udah selesai tuh.
Personal pride and also to maybe affect the outcome of the
selesai ini Ferrari P2 ini.
Constructors'
Oh,
Championship. Meanwhile, the Drivers' Championship, the player
Komeng.
6 points. Norris.
Attack Komeng. Wah, oke, let's go.
204
Komeng.
Carlos Sainz will be 200 on 201 points here. So Fernando Alonso currently behind Yuki Tsunoda and catching Yuki Tsunoda. This is quite personal for him to try and finish it.
Komeng.
In the driver's Lando Norris in the driver's.
Yep, and that's the constructor finish. Constructor finish guys. Kalaupun Sainz speed hilang 1 poin, Ferrari masih di atas guys. It's okay.
So Ferrari had that runners-up spot. It's a 5-second margin that Sergio Perez now needs to give Ferrari
Come on.
runners-up spot. So that's what we're playing for here. And we'll keep an eye on the timing.
Komeng, attack Komeng, anjir.
Alonso chasing Tsunoda once again.
Box Ferrari. Box man. Ngapain anjir Ferrari? Bentar, ini kalian ada yang nonton streamnya Mike gak? Mike ngamuk-ngamuk gak guys? Ngapain anjir Sainz ditinggal? Untung lah keren P2 ya.
Ferrari's job that little bit harder too.
Yes, Sainz is going to drop at least 3 places when he pits.
Well, he's going to be caught, I think, by Lance Stroll in a few moments on the road. So they might as well just get Carlos Sainz back.
Komeng.
The time is long gone.
Gas Komeng, ayo Komeng. Wah, mantap ini Pak.
In this race. Semoga, by the way, to set his fastest lap of the race, which will frustrate Fernando Alonso, who was in the DRS range, trying to gain on him on the track.
Okay.
Just 1 place outside of what he would need
Come on,
to do
Alonso.
ahead of Williams.
And he's driven a super race tonight as well. Led the Grand Prix for the first time and has not done much wrong.
Anak papa.
In that Alpha.
Lawan anak papa, come on.
Here comes Lance Stroll down into turn 5
Wah,
again.
Ferrari. Box. Ya selesai anjir.
Second faster on that lap. He might just do it. For the final podium spot once he's had his penalty.
Let's see. Here comes Alonso
Box.
on site. Stroll on site. Finally, he's told to box. He's going to be out of the points. Come what may. That's the multiple prick. Oh, as Alonso gets Yuki Tsunoda.
Fernando, let's go. Komeng. Mukanya datar, Pal.
Drivers' Championship.
Aduh, sumpah. Untung Leclerc P2 loh. Komeng, from the inside, sangkep.
Let's have a look here down the inside. We just couldn't hang on to any sort of defensive.
Komeng, guys.
Mantul. Left Sunoda to make his mind up.
There's your race leader, Max Verstappen, out on his own. Can't see Charles behind him. He's 49 seconds down the road.
Jangan Leclerc, jangan, no. Kocak, what the hell are you doing, man? Push, anjir.
So what he's saying there is, if we need to give Sergio a bit more pace, I'll drop back.
Gak perlu. What the fuck are you doing, man? Ini Safi nggak ngobrol, guys. Fix. Ini kalau kayak gini aja Ferrari P2, tapi kalau Leclerc mundur, what the hell, man?
Is the gap at the moment 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds between Perez and Russell.
Wih, mantap guys, Verstappen 1000 laps. 1000 laps dalam satu musim, Pak. Mantap. 1000 laps toh satu musim.
During a Formula One season, and what a season it has been. We're riding on board with Lewis Hamilton. He's behind Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh wait. Oh my God.
I'm watching the timing screen here.
Oh my God, guys.
He's just dropping back a little bit to try and
Hamilton naik, lewat, Ferrari lewat. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yuki. Wah, lewat nih. It's over.
Hamilton and Rosberg, didn't we once upon a time? Well, Lewis Hamilton backed Rosberg into the pack, didn't stop him.
Udah, nggak usah disorot, Teko.
So Leclerc's given up second place.
Nggak bakalan dapat.
Is within 3.6 seconds. It's enough with Perez's penalty. Leclerc knows Perez.
Mana Hamilton disorot, Hamilton. Iya, kameranya balik. Hamilton 0,2 guys. Iya, lewat. Get off. Kameranya balik, come on. Kameranya balik. Hamilton balapan. Yuki battle-nya kemana? What? Kok Leclerc P3? What the hell? Kok Leclerc P3? Ngapain Leclerc P3? What the hell, man? Perez kena penalti.
George Russell fourth on the road.
Yes.
And after that, Lando Norris,
Mantap.
Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, Lewis Hamilton,
Mantap Yuki, guys.
to take the final points place as the timing screen updated itself here.
3.8. Russell's within 3.8 seconds.
Ngasih anjir.
So he will get that third place. The best way of getting through. Knowing, of course, he's got to take 5-second penalty, so he hasn't really given him anything. He just wants to help out.
Leclerc kenapa? Oh,
Yuki Tsunoda on the
wait, what's the? Ini konstruktornya gimana ya akhirnya nih?
Hamilton once again.
Kenapa Leclerc ngasih anjir?
Another run there.
Iya.
Perez fourth. Oh, look at that, Lewis getting a big armful of opposite lock.
P2 kayaknya P2 Mercedes ini guys. Kayak P2-nya Mercedes ya. Kalau tadi hitung-hitung sih P2-nya Mercy guys. Wah, kenapa Leclerc ngasih, men?
He finishes fourth with that 5-second penalty. Leclerc comes home second. George Russell comes home third. And Mercedes
iya, Mercy P2.
second place in the championship.
Mercy P2, wah. God damn.
Leclerc's mental arithmetic there, and knowing he could try to give Perez a slipstream, let it through, let it get.
Iya, kameramennya ngapain coba? Kameramennya malah nyorot Verstappen ngapain? Kayak nggak balik gitu kan? Ke Hamilton apa ke yang battle kayak tadi?
We were told there might be a few tactics in this race.
Mantap. Thank you Race Buds yang udah nonton. Ya tapi Peres kena 5 second ya.
Yeah, Max, you have been absolutely mighty this year. 19 victories. You've led over 1,000 laps. You've smashed it out of the park. It has been an absolute privilege watching you drive this car. It's been built by a team of brilliant people, and we're all incredibly proud of you. And it's a very, very special in-lap. So take it in, enjoy.
Gila. Thank you guys yang udah nonton guys.
Last bit of RB19.
So ya, absen. Tifosi NT ya. Iya Carlos enggak Ferrari sih. Kenapa harus gambling one stopper gitu loh. Kayak why? Mendingan di stopin ya. Carlos itu tadi pace-nya bagus guys. Carlos pace-nya bagus, kenapa harus itu stopin? Karena at least kalau Carlos poin P2 Ferrari. Thank you Raffi, Saat Zata. Thank you so much untuk satu musim ini guys. Bro. Tunggu live-nya ya. Kita live lagi berarti hari apa ya? Senin, Selasa Grand Prix by the way guys. Ya, P2 Mercedes. Mantap. Thank you so much udah mampir. Thank you Andika, ada siapa lagi di Kingsat F24 awal Maret. Ya, awal Maret. 29 Februari guys ya, FP1. Sungkem dulu guys. Sungkem dulu, Pak. Hadir. Streamer FM yo. Ini kita jadi streamer FM. Thank you JF ya udah mampir. Oke lah ya. Kita end streamnya. Thank you so much. Kita akan stream lagi hari Senin. Thank you F1 Sen 2023. Bye. Damn. Lanjut live gak? Enggak kayaknya ya. Ya udah, end stream guys. Bye.